Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. This is the great and powerful Zilla, and today I'm going to be talking about this ship, the Kremlin. Now, in this game, there are ships that develop a reputation, and it's a reputation built out of fear. For example, the Smolensk has built a reputation as a cancerous ship. Its fearsome amount of firepower. The Stalingrad has built a reputation as a darn near invincible cruiser. Other ships have reputations. Of all of these, over the years, this one has, by far, the most undeserved reputation as a fearsome battleship. It is awesome, but it's got some very glaring weaknesses to it that you might not be aware of. So let's take a look at what you got. First of all, this ship comes from the land of imagination. Okay? That's right. The land of imagination. This ship was never even actually built at all. The closest you can come to it is the Sovietsky Soyuz class, which is here. And these were never actually built either. These ships were designed to match up with the United States Iowa class. Um, there were 15 of these planned. 4 hulls were laid down. The one that came closest to being completed was the Sovietsky Soyuz, and it was 21% completed. The problem the Soviets had, they couldn't build the armor plate you needed to make a battleship. You need cemented steel plate. They didn't have it. So they decided with the Sovietsky Soyuz class to make a plate out of hardened, face-hardened steel, which was only going to be 9 millimeters thick. After World War II, they decided they were going to build this. And this was, I think, Project 24. It never left the drawing board. It was never actually fully designed. It was an idea, a plan, if you will. The idea was quickly thrown out. To be fair, the Soviet Navy really wasn't worth much of anything since Tsushima Bay in 1905. It really hadn't accomplished anything. In fact, when they got warships after World War II as part of reparations, for example, the Julius Caesar from the Italian Navy, they couldn't even do that right. And it ended up blowing up, presumably because it hit a leftover German mine in 1955, killing 608 sailors. So the Soviet Navy ships seemed to be more dangerous to their own sailors than they do to any potential enemy. But be that as it may, here in the game, the Kremlin exists. Okay? So what do you got in the game? You got an extremely high hit point ship, 108 hit points. It's got big guns, 18-inch guns. It's got 3 of them, just like the Yamato. Okay? It's got fearsome anti-aircraft defense. It's not fast and not very maneuverable. Of course, as with any battleship, you're not really going to hide from anything. So what's the deal with the Kremlin? Well, if the Kremlins bow in like this, you're going to have a hard time hitting it and doing any damage because its bow plates are 32 millimeters. The only thing you get through that is the Yamato. Its deck plating is 60 millimeters, so it's darn near invincible that way. But if you turn it on its side, you will see that it has a heck of a wide open citadel. So think of the Soviet battleships in general like Oreo cookies. They're hard on the ends and they're soft in the middle. If you can get this ship broadside, it's over. Now you might say, Well, that's true of any battleship. More so with these. So it does have weaknesses. It's not fast. It's not very maneuverable. Its turrets turn very slowly. Yeah, when they hit, they hurt. They hurt bad. And they can rack up a lot of damage. But it is far from invincible. Also, bear in mind that these ships have limited consumables. You've got your damage control party, and you only got 5 charges. Other ships, they have unlimited ones. And your repair party, you only got 3, and that's with superintendent. And, if I put the upgraded one on there, it would have 4. But in a random battle or even a co-op battle, you're not going to need that many. Okay? But keep that in mind. This ship can be burned down. If you can get on its flanks, it's easy to citadel. Very easy to citadel. It's, like I said, its torpedo protection is about 50%, 46%, splitting hairs here. And of course, any aircraft carriers, if you do manage to get to this ship and get a torpedo strike off, you're going to do minimal damage at all. But if you cause flooding, or you start a fire, or something like that, and you make the captain of the ship burn his damage control, then you're one better, because he's got a limited number of damage controls. He's really got to manage that very well. Okay? So, this ship has a fearsome reputation. Deservedly so from a receiving end. Not so much from an attacking end. Again, if this ship's bow in, it's darn near invincible. The only way you're going to take it down is by burning it down. But if this ship is broadside, it's easy pickings. Okay? So I'm going to take it into co-op and show you what I mean. Okay? And we'll see that later. This is the Tier 10 Soviet battleship. All right? And it comes from, again, the land of imagination. I'll talk to you in co-op. Bye. Okay. Co-op battle. Straight up. Kremlin's Tier 10. If it's all that, why is it the third ship down? Right? Again, this ship is awesome. It's fun to play. But it's got some glaring weaknesses, as you will see in this little battle. Now again, with most of this, a good portion of your time is spent getting to and from the fight. I am going to head to C. Alright? So, why? Because that's the side of the map I spawned on. That's why. So I'm just going to head up to C. And we'll see what we can do. Right? Okay? Again, I'm doing this to show you what the ship can and cannot do. Alright? So, we're sailing along. And, yeah, we'll get there when we get there. Right? So, I wonder if the sailors on the ships are going, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? And then when you get there, they're like, oh shit, go away. So, pardon me. Got a frog in my throat. The ship is not the fastest racehorse in the barn. Now, it's not exactly sluggish either. But, yeah, it's kind of middle of the road. Middling, if you will. Right? So, when I first got the Kremlin, I was like, all right, I got the Kremlin. And I thought this thing was the most awesome thing ever in the history of ever. Force detected. Played a few battles in it and found out that, hey, this thing's got some pretty glaring weaknesses to it that most people don't pay attention to. And if you do, Kremlin is not all that. And I'm sorry to disappoint you if you're going down this line to the Tier 10 and you're going to get an awesome battleship, but it ain't all that. It really isn't. People complain it's overpowered, and firepower-wise, it probably is. But, and you'll see. You'll see. So, First thing I see is this Kagero on the other side. Now, I don't know what the heck our bot was doing over there. Bots do what they do, I guess, you know. But he goes in there and, yeah, because reasons, right? Okay. So they end up trading back and forth and leaves the Kagero to me. Now, he's going to bust around the side of that island. I'm going to whack him. Normally, you shouldn't fire high explosive against a destroyer, or not high explosive, armor piercing against a destroyer, but since he's on such low health, I just go ahead and shoot what I got in the barrel.
We've sunk an enemy destroyer.
And I take him out. So here we got a Italian ship, the Amalfi, and he's making a mistake. Against the Kremlin, if you're nose in on a cruiser, you're probably easier to kill than if you were broadside, because that's not going to over-penetrate. Okay? So I take a shot at their Kremlin, and look at the damage start to rack up a little bit. Okay, it's starting to ratchet up a little bit. And this Kremlin is angling at me, right? So I'm like, I need to get this guy broadside. But in return, that shows my broadside. Okay? Keep that in mind. So I turn ever so slightly in, right? So I can get a full broadside on this guy. Reload on these guns is not that great. I'm going to plaster him with that. Look at that. Boom, 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 boom. Look at that damage just rack up. I just raped that ship.
Our team is taking the lead.
That's what I'm talking about with the Kremlin. You can't show broadside. And you could say, well, that's true of any battleship. This battleship gets punished severely for showing its broadside. Unlike other battleships where you can get chunked, no question, this battleship can get sunk. This battleship gets punished badly for showing its broadside. Okay? And you'll see that. So I'm going after this North Carolina, and the bot decides it's going to play ring around the rosy around this island. So I just decided I'm going to come to a stop. I'm going to back it up, and I'm going to shoot at North Carolina when he busts around the corner of that island. Okay? Because otherwise he's just going to run around that island in circles. So I also know that there's an enemy Kremlin to my front and right. Okay? So I'm going to back it up a little bit, and I see that North Carolina busting around the island. I'm going to hit him with my rear turret.
Our victory is in sight.
Okay? He gets taken out. There's the Kremlin. He's around the island. Am I going to chase? No. Why? Because the bots do what they do. He's going to continue to go around that island, and when he busts around the corner of that island, he's going to give me full broadside. I'm going to whack him, right? So that's the plan. So I'm backing up. Again, the reloads on these guns, terrible. Terrible. Okay? It seems like it takes forever to load these guns. So I'm going to back it up. I'm going to see what we got. Okay? And he ain't taking his time. He's going to bust around the corner of this island pretty darn quick. He starts to turn into me just slightly. But his guns are facing the wrong way. And I hit him. Bam! I mean, look at the damage. Whap! Okay? That's the strength of the Kremlin. Now watch the weakness of the Kremlin. He's going to turn his guns on me, and wow! Wow! Just... And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why you don't broadside in a Kremlin. I don't care if it's co-op, clan wars, what have you. You don't do that. So anyway, AVW, my clan is recruiting. If you're interested, please give us a holler. In the meantime, you guys be good to each other. Have a great, great day. Bye.